What's up, guys? I am Rachel Photon. Welcome back. I'm so happy to be here with you all today. In this oracle reading, you all, we're going to see what messages the universe has for you. Stay tuned. Let's do it. Let's see what messages the universe has for you. Oh, wow. All right, so it looks like somebody is doing something very thoughtful here. Someone is caring a lot about someone. All right. They could be doing something to show someone how much they care about them or how much they love them. Someone feels like something that you have done was very thoughtful, very loving, very caring. You may have done something very thoughtful for someone recently, or someone could have done something very thoughtful for you, or they're thinking about doing something for you or showing you, trying to find a way to show you how much they care, how much they love you, how much they appreciate you, and how much they value you, all right? All right. They could be trying to help you out or show you the way to do something or how to do something. They could be trying to figure out how to not bring too much attention to themselves when doing whatever it is that they're doing. Some of you all could be trying to figure out ways to show people that you care for them and that you love them, but to not really be so, you're not the type of person to do things for others and then go tell everybody else that you did something for someone unless they bring it up, right? So it's almost like someone appreciates the things that you do for them and you don't go and brag to everybody about what you did or try to get accolades or pats on the back or stuff like that. It's almost like you're a very caring and loving person in that way. You may have helped a lot of people and they could be trying to find ways to show you how much they appreciate that or how much they value what you have done for them. All right. Someone could be very happy because of something you have done recently for them to show them that you care about them, that you really are there for them, that you support them. So I do see a lot of hope in this situation. Something that you did gave someone hope. It made them feel very hopeful, very inspired, very motivated. And also what the universe is wanting you to know is to stay hopeful, okay? Something is going to happen or occur that is going to help you feel more hopeful. It's going to help you feel more motivated, more inspired, and to see things in a better light, or to see or to understand something that you are doing better, all right? Some of you all could have been wondering what your divine missions are, wondering if you're actually doing the right thing that you're meant to be doing, if you're actually on the right path that you're meant to be on. And it's something about a sign or something that you're going to gain soon that's going to show you, or that you have, that's showing you that, yes, you are meant to be doing what you're doing, or yes, you are on the right path, or something of that sort, okay? And some of you all, I see here that you could be doing things differently than what people are used to or than what people expect you to do. And that's fine. That's actually what you're meant to do. That's part of your divine mission. It could be meant for you to be a trendsetter or a trailblazer of some sort, a leader of some sort. You're meant to do things in a different way to evolve a situation or to help people evolve or to transform something of some sort, okay? And some of you all could have been nervous about doing this thing in different ways or presenting yourself in different ways than other people do. You could have been trying to keep things to yourself or not really telling people too much about what you got going on, or what you're about, or what you're doing. And it's almost like you realize that you're not meant to do that, or you're meant to do things in the ways that you've been doing them. It's like you're kind of stepping out of some sort of traditional role, or some sort of expected traditional behaviors or ways that you're meant to exist or behave in. And so for some of you all, you're being told that, yeah, not everybody may like it, not everybody may agree with it, but they're eventually going to realize that you're not here to essentially keep the status quo. You're here to help people evolve, or help things to change, or help things to become the way that they need to become, so that they can be as successful as they can be within whatever this current time, the current times are. Okay. You could be stepping out of, or doing things in a different way than people would normally expect of you. It's almost like for some of you guys, some people expect you to be quiet. They expect you to go along, to get along with certain things. They expect you to not shine too much, or they expect you to uphold them or whatever when they're wrong, or when and they want you to be quiet when things are messed up, or when someone's doing something messed up, right? Or whatever the case may be. And it's like you're no longer going along with that. It could be some sort of family tradition, or some sort of way that people act or behave that you may consider family, or that you may consider loved ones, or that you may consider friends, co-workers, fellow students, etc. It's like something that people expect. You're not meant to be that person, or behave in the ways that are expected. You're meant to be doing the things the ways that you're meant to be doing them, right? The way that the divine designed you to be, or the way that your path was laid out for you to follow. Okay. And so you just have to be okay with that. You have to get comfortable with that. You have to be okay with knowing that you're not meant to be the same way that either people expected you to be, or to think in the same ways people expect you to think, or to practice the same traditional types of practices that people expect you to practice them. Or it's something like maybe you practice something that's traditional, but you don't do it in the exact traditional way. And it's like you're not doing it wrong, right? They may think you're doing something wrong. It's not that you're doing something wrong. You either found a more effective or better way to do it, or you realize that things needed to change, things needed to evolve to fit modern society's way of existing, right? So I'll give you an example of how this, like, so that you can understand what I'm saying. All right. So let's say in ancient times, everybody used to gather around the fire, and they would share their stories of what happened with the day. They share their trials and tribulations. They would share stories of history, of family things. They would eat together. They would do different things, right? Well, nowadays, because of the way that society is, it won't be as practical for everybody every day at the end of the day to gather around a fire and talk and communicate and this and that and the other. So you have to find other ways to still practice those same traditions, but in ways that are probably better served, right? So a lot of the time, the families aren't living in the same city or the same state, or heck, even the same country at times. So maybe instead of gathering around the fire at the end of the day, you all would do like a Zoom call kind of thing, right? So everybody could meet together and see each other or whatever, right? You have to like make do with what you have. You can still practice those traditional values, but in a different way. And it's almost like you could have been dealing with people who don't like that, who aren't agreeing with that, and they're not able to see that, you know, you can preserve these traditional practices and still be modern, so to say. So that's an example. Some of you guys literally could actually be dealing with that. Others of you, that's just to kind of help you see, right? Let's say in tradition, your family, you know, the elders, whatever the elders said goes, and you're supposed to go along with whatever they say, or do whatever they tell you to do, even if it's not right, or even if it's not accurate, or even if it's not helpful, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, you may be the one to step out of that, and maybe you're the one that stands up and says, no, this ain't right, or let's do something different, or how about we change this, or how about, right? And so it's like you may have to go against people who are stuck in their ways, or stuck in some sort of traditions or some sort of ways. Now, it's not to say that some traditions you shouldn't work as hard as you can to preserve them, or certain practices, beliefs, ways of existing and being. Maybe for some of y'all, it's cooking recipes, it's music, it's whatever, right? But when you know something is actually more detrimental than it is helpful, or you know that that tradition or that practice or that belief is what caused a lot of issues, problems, etc., and you want to change it, the universe is saying you're doing the right thing. All right, it might seem like you're not. You may deal with people who don't like it, right? Etc., but it is what it is. Okay, so some of you are actually aware of this. You recognize this is just a confirmation for you. All right, and you're also being told not to give up. Okay, because at times it may feel like you might as well just let let them be how they want to be, or let it be how it, whatever it is, or maybe you should just continue to do this or whatever. No, you're meant to bring change. You're meant to evolve things, because for some of y'all, your actual genetics and lineage depend on it. Okay, it's kind of like, with the indigenous Americans, a lot of them, they either had to go along with the people that took them over, and they had to, a lot of them, cut their hair. They had to stop wearing their traditional garb. They had to stop practicing their traditional practices, right? Or they had to find ways to hide those practices or whatever, in order for them to literally survive, right? And they had to choose and think, is it worth taking out a whole culture of people, generation of people, and them not exist anymore, just to try to keep their traditional values? Or should they at least try to go along and get along, so that the generation will survive, and somehow they could find a way to keep some of the culture, right? Or some of the whatever. And that's just how it is at times. So it will get better, whatever this is. For some of y'all, if someone like previously judged you, or thought that you, let's say like you're from a culture, but you were practicing things in a different way than what they practice it, or what they expected you to practice it, they could have misjudged you. They could have been upset with you. They could have even tried to shun you, or whatever the case may be. But it's almost like some of them are recognizing that you are actually either of the divine, or you were sent to them to do this thing, or it's actually a gift or a power of something. It helps somehow to allow you to do what you're doing, or for things to change the way that they're changing, or they're recognizing that you are one of them, or you are of them, or you do practice what they practice. You just do it in a different way, and they've recognized that it's not worth, acting a certain way with you, or being a certain way with you, just to keep things a certain way. All right, because you recognize the traditions, you recognize how things always were, or how people would want them to be, but you're advanced, you're evolved, you already see like you have different goals. It's not just preserving the traditional values, it's literally preserving something bigger than that, right? And they're recognizing this, and so they may want to try to show you that they value you, they appreciate you, and they want you to continue doing what you're doing. It's almost like they give you good grace, or they're not going to keep battling against you or going against you, or that you were right about something, or maybe they do need to change, or maybe they do need to do something different, or get better with something, or whatever the case may be. Okay, for some of y'all, somebody could have been judging you. All right. If you practice divination, tarot, things of that sort, they could have automatically thought that you were working with evil, or something that you're doing is evil. Okay. Or that you're not practicing it in traditional ways, so therefore you're not a real reader, or you're not this or whatever. Okay. And they're realizing that actually the way that you're doing it is viable. Okay. Or if you just keep going with what you're doing, eventually they'll get over it. Okay. They'll realize that whatever they're trying to hold on to or force you to stick to or whatever, like, is bogus. Okay. Like you're actually way more advanced or way more prosperous or way more something at it than they are. Okay. And so maybe your way of doing it is the way to do it. All right. But it took you to inspire people or motivate people or cause some sort of change in perspectives or ways of existing or being. And for some of you all, you may feel some type of way because they may have gave you hell for that. All right. Only to later realize that you were right, or that you're not an enemy, or you're not doing things wrong, or something like that. Okay. So stay hopeful, because things, you will feel fulfilled. All right. You could be recognizing that you're way more intelligent than you thought that you were, or way more effective at something than you thought that you were, or way more gifted. So it's something like that, y'all. But I do see someone sees that you're doing things for the right reasons, or that you genuinely do care for them, or that you're not practicing some sort of evil, or that when you stay to yourself, when you do things on your own, or when you move the ways that you want to move, you're not being snake-like, or you're not an enemy, or you're not against whatever it is that they thought that you were. Okay. It's just that sometimes you have to take risks. Sometimes you have to do things different. Sometimes you have to you know, change, evolve. And some people may be comfortable with where they're at, or how they're doing things, or how things are going, or and they're not willing to take the risks. They're not willing to evolve, change, be better, do better. Okay. But you are being comforted, or you should be comfortable in knowing that you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing. But it might not feel that way. Okay. It might not feel that way. Possibly because maybe you're the first to do something, whether it be in your family, or whether it be in your group, or a situation or something. So you may not have people to look up to see which way you should do things, or how to move, or what's the best practices, or things of that sort, right? Because you're a trailblazer. Okay. You're ingenuitive, you're an inventor maybe, or you're a designer or something like that. You're somebody who's meant to make things new, or do new things, or evolve, improve, things of that sort. So by default, most likely you're not going to have somebody who's done it the exact way that you've done it before, or and so you just got to be the one to take the risks and do the trial and errors and things of that sort. And it's almost like as you continue to do this, people are going to realize, wow, actually that probably was the best decision, or probably they should do things that way, or wow, you can do things that way, or that's really not as evil as it looks like it is, or it's something of like that. Okay. And it's like you're here to evolve your ancestral karma. All right. Like I said, this has something to, for a lot of you all, this is something to do with some sort of family traditions, or some sort of ancient traditions of your ancestors, or something like that. And they may have started practicing things or believing in ways that were actually not beneficial for them, or that were actually not good for them. And you decided to let that go, or to stop doing things that way, or to find a way to break some sort of negative ancestral karma to make it positive, right? And so somebody or people could be sitting back realizing that you had the right idea, that you're doing things the right way, or yeah, now they're putting two and two together. Well, maybe that's why the ancestors were having issues and problems, because possibly they were eating this thing that they weren't meant to be eating, or they were believing this thing that they weren't meant to be believing, right? And they're making connections, okay? And you're the one that's meant to break some sort of either generational curses, or you have been breaking them, or you're the one that's meant to change things, to move things around. And it's not always going to be clear exactly what you need to do or how you need to do it, or how you should react in situations, or what you should say or practice, etc. But you're just gonna have to be okay with being the one that some people may even to the extent of hate, okay? But you just have to keep in mind that this is what you're meant to do. This is what needs to happen, okay? It's like the baby, right? It's like the baby that loves the binky, that loves the pacifier. At some point, you're going to have to take that binky from them. You're going to have to take that pacifier from them. Because if you don't, they may end up with crooked teeth. They may end up with problems with eating. They may end up with teeth that have issues, right? And you don't want them to have to deal with that. But yeah, they're going to be upset and bothered because you took the binky from them, right? Or let's say bottles. You have to transition the baby from the bottle to the cup, the sippy cup or the cup. Or, you know, some babies, you got to teach them how to walk. They'd rather crawl everywhere than walk because walking is tough for them, right? It's like that. And you just have to deal with the whatever comes with that, okay? If you really truly care about what it is that you're doing or you're changing or whatever, you will be willing to deal with whatever hate, spite, envy, jealousy, whatever comes with the situation. Okay? You just have to keep in your mind and know and be above the BS, right? And just remember what you're here to do, what your true mission is, what really needs to happen, and you just keep moving forward. Just know that eventually people will realize why you're doing something, or why you're acting a certain way, or why you're practicing a certain thing, or that it's actually beneficial, or that, yeah, things might need to change, you know, etc. All right? And this is bringing good karma to your family, to your bloodline, to your group, to your situation, to your work, to your business, whatever this is related to. Okay? Something about this may have something to do with being politically correct. All right? This may also have something to do with caring too much about what society thinks of you. Okay? Because like for some of y'all, I'll just tell you how the universe is saying it, all right? For some of y'all, part of what the ancestral negative karma is that had developed is you may have had ancestors or family members or friends or whatever that cared more about what society thought about them than their actual own, what they're doing to their family or to their friends or to their, you know what I'm saying? Like, they cared more about random people and what they think or felt or cared about them versus the people who actually loved them, versus the people who were actually there for them, their feelings, their thoughts, right? So you may have people who, because they didn't want society looking at them as though, I'm gonna just say it, look, I'm gonna just say it how some people have gotten rid of, you know, or were convinced to get rid of beings that they loved that were inside of their bellies so that they don't make the family look bad because the person was too young when they had that happen, right? And the family may have been paying for them to go to college and things like that or whatever, right? It's stuff like that that can cause ancestral lineage to have to develop bad karma. All right? Or, you know, going too hard on children, right? Going too hard on children when they don't deserve it, just to make them behave in ways to where they don't look like some way that people don't want them to look like out in the public, right? So they're willing to do mess up stuff to people that really love them just so that they don't look some type of way out to others who don't even really matter at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're stopping these old traditions or whatever this is. You're changing things, okay? If there was some, you know, you guys can understand or get what I'm saying, okay? This don't have to be family. It don't have to just be that, but I'm using that as an example because for a lot of you guys, that's what it is. But for others of you, it could be traditions at a job. It could be traditions in a business. It could be traditions in a school, okay? Or a neighborhood, a community, a tribe, right? And you may need to stay to yourself during this time or during this transition, or, you know, I do sense that you may be feeling very strongly about what's going on, okay, or how people are reacting to you, or, you know, they may be feeling some type of way, all right? And they're going to recognize or realize over time, hopefully sooner than later, that you're on the right path, or you know what you're talking about, or maybe what you're trying to suggest to them to do is the better way to go about something, is the better way to act, is the better way to be. Okay? I know it may get irritating too when you're trying to explain things to people or deal with people or whatever. You're being told that you might want to stay to yourself when you're really feeling that intense. Okay? It's just better for you. Yeah, or being politically correct, or even believing in certain spiritual practice. Like, it's like you're doing something different, all right? And you're no longer trying to make people feel good that don't deserve to feel good. You're no longer trying to keep, some of y'all, you're no longer trying to keep the peace, okay? You said what you said when you said it, type of thing. And it is what it is, right? It's like someone's used to you either being nice to them or sugarcoating things or acting a certain way, but it's like others do that, and you may have been doing that because that's part of a tradition or part of the way people just act or be in that situation. And that's what you're used to, but you're changing things up, you're different. Okay? And they have to deal with it. They have to accept it. If they don't accept it, it is what it is. You just keep moving forward. Okay? So I do see here that there are people who really value what it is that you have to offer, who really value this change, or who may even themselves be going through the same thing or trying to do similar things. Or they know they've dealt with this before also, and so they're able to empathize with you about this. Okay, and these could be the people who may be trying to show you that they care for you, or that they see that what you're going through, that they've gone through it too, or they could be trying to help you, or, you know, things of that sort. Okay. You may have some, wow. So the divine is definitely on your side. Okay. You could have some sort of godlike gifts or abilities of some sort. Maybe you see yourself higher than people may want you to see yourself, or that's part of what the tradition was, is people in your family or friend group or whatever, they constantly downplay themselves, or they don't want to see themselves as higher or better, or they're constantly like doing the work of the enemy on themselves. And it's like, you're breaking that. You're not doing that. You refuse to look at yourself as less than, or not great enough, or not good enough, or whatever the case may be, because it's you know that that's a self-fulfilling prophecy for a lot of you guys. You know that you have some sort of godlike gifts and abilities, or you know that you have some sort of favor with God, the divine, or something like that, or that you're meant to do work of God, or etc. And you could have even been downplaying that for a little bit to make other people feel comfortable or okay with you. And you're no longer going to stop doing what you're divinely meant to be doing, or what God is meant for, has planned for you, just to make other people feel comfortable or feel good with the nonsense that they're doing or believing in or whatever. And you're gaining a victory, or you're going to gain a victory when you do that. Many opportunities for you to be successful, to be victorious, or to really do great things in life are going to start to come into your life when you stop caring about, people not liking what you're doing, people not liking the changes that you're making, or you standing up for yourself, or you standing up for other people, or you no longer hiding this power or this whatever you got, or no longer putting somebody else's thoughts, opinions, beliefs, etc. over your own, or seeing them as higher than what they actually are. You know what I'm saying? It's a powerful victory. Some of y'all, this is a victory that you have attained here because of what you have been doing, because you refuse to give up, because you kept the hope, the faith, etc. And because you kept doing for those who deserved it. Okay? And it looks like you're no longer entertaining the wrong crowd. All right? You're no longer entertaining the wrong crowd. You know exactly what you need to do, how you need to do it, or you will, okay? Where you need to put your energies, your time, your effort. It's almost like somebody wanted you to be empathetic with them and how they feel when they didn't deserve it, or they weren't meant to have that kind of empathy, or whatever they're doing. It ain't what it is. It's not right. All right? You're on the right path, okay? All right? A powerful victory is here for y'all. Okay? So stay in these godlike and goddess-like energies. All right? Know that you are of the divine. Know that you are divinely protected. Know that you are here to break some sort of generational curses, and you're doing it. Okay? Or you have. Okay? You ain't got to be politically correct. For who? For people who would never be that way with you? Or, listen, y'all, you just have to really be ready to deal with whatever comes with this, okay? And it is what it is. You're protected through the process, but just know that some people ain't gonna like it, and you should not give a fuck.